Welcome back to the Sunday updates. Let's do this. You can see I made a little bit of progress. This literally took about an hour to finally get the covers separated, but it is separated. I have those organized mostly by memory, unfortunately. The really long ones go in the three positions here. I think that's, those two. They go throughout the entire thing on the side, on the outside, and the rest fill in the backside. This thing actually doesn't look half bad. Here's one of the seals. It's actually in there pretty good. It was up against the face. That is a decent looking seal. There's no excessive flat spots. There's no spot that looks like it burnt through. If I don't have a trash can, so that spot's going to be trash. So I feel like I'm in a particularly good point to educate some people on a rotary, because the biggest reason a lot of people don't go for them, or they say that they're bad or suck or whatever you want to say about them, honestly, they always complain about the apex seals. I'm not entirely sure most people know what those are, but the apex seals are, if you can see that little sliver right there, that's between the rotor and the housing. That's the apex seal. It's at the apex of all 3 points of the big ass Dorito. These right here, this little part poking up, and this one that tried to fall out on me, that is a corner seal. And then you have these things here, which are kind of spring loaded. You can see this one, it actually came out and was stuck to that. And this one over here, these are side seals. What I initially thought was wrong with this engine is actually another seal that's in here. You gotta love rotaries. Ooh, that oil in there actually looks good still. Cool. You won't even really be able to see them here, but there is one down in here, I think, or in here and here, and those are called, oh, if I can remember those ones are a bit more obscure. Those are, damn, I can't remember what they are. Essentially oil metering seals. Oil still seeps past them. These act the most like piston rings. They allow a certain amount of oil to get by. That way everything in here still gets lubricated, but they still keep the majority of it out. And any blow by that gets past these seals, which are also akin to piston rings, gets stopped by those because they're up against the side. So I'm going to work my way a little bit further. I need to start making up more space and getting more organized than I already am with this giant mess. Thankfully, I have most of this on the video. Because now, I can actually see some color transformation on the eccentric crankshaft. Now I just need to start pulling Doritos. So far, that seal looked good. If you look at this outer one, this seal's between basically literally the outside and the only thing flowing through the inside here, I believe, is coolant. And even then, most of it's very dry, although it's been sitting out here a while. So that just basically keeps coolant from getting out and crap from getting in. Then there's a seal, which is that orange one I threw on the floor. That sits in this channel here and goes all the way around. That keeps the coolant from going from the jacket inside the combust. And I'm pretty sure on this rotor is where we're going to see some problems with that. It's either going to be a busted seal, or it's going to be very flat and you'll literally see burn marks on it. That's what I'm hypothesizing so far. Anyway, I still need to work on some stuff. Hopefully the next one will be down into this chamber. See you soon. Alright, we made it a little bit further. We got that housing off. We got the rotor out. Not in that order. Probably should have done it in that order. Would have made more sense. I'm going to do that with the next one, maybe. But this doesn't wiggle enough, especially not without the flywheel off. And I've been having trouble getting the flywheel off, so not flywheel. Thank you, train. That's wonderful. Not flywheel, counterbalance. So I'm going to work on getting that off. Then I can take it off from this side out. See you then. Through some of the most horrible techniques I've ever done on anything ever in my entire life, I think we finally have this off. Although it's 10,000 degrees. So there's clue 1. Clue 2 is probably going to come at the end. Oh, you're kidding me. It's still not off. Work with me. Get a rotary, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Okay, nobody actually talked me into getting this. I just really wanted one. But we finally have that off, which means we can take the rest of this out, because I'm pretty sure that was all that was holding it. So I'm going to be done for today. By the way, for a point of reference, this is Wednesday, the same day I'm putting out the late video. So fun. It's also only going to get colder out, unfortunately, which is not going to be good for me. So I will see you guys next time in terms of, day for me, maybe 4 or 5. It'll be a second for you. I got a bucket full of engine. I got a rotary, that's all mine. All right. There's the med plate with the eccentric shaft. Oop, I got a zoom feature with the eccentric shaft still in it. Here's everything else. Mid plate would go right here, by the way. So we got the front plate, the front rotor housing. The mid plate would go here. The rear rotor housing, the rear rotor, and the rear plate. Everything actually looks to be in quite decent condition. Nothing came out broken. I think that everything was just able to leak past the seals. I believe the oil control rings, which is what they're actually called, I finally remembered that and looked it up. They seem to be fine. There was not excess oil in this at all. It was just coolant, so I should be able to get away without needing to replace those. Aside from that, it is getting to be getting very cold out here, and it's not looking like it's going to warm up for about a week, so we might have to skip a Sunday update. I am still working on the whole weight loss thing. I'll give you guys a progress on that. I mean, it'll be a little bit for you, but it's still a couple days away before it's actually Sunday for me. That being said, all I got left to really do with this is basically almost the midway point for rebuilding this thing. Now that I have it all tore down, I can go through, clean everything up. Even though it's going to be freezing out here, I'm going to try to get the pressure washer on that and get rid of all that flaking paint. Then, yeah, degrease, oil surfaces that need it. Look how shiny that is. That's legit chrome. At least some kind of chrome alloy that's coated on there. It doesn't look the greatest, but I can't feel it, so I'm going to call that good. It's on both of them, actually. So yeah, I gotta clean everything up. Those are supposed to be a little bit shinier. It's basically a byproduct of 1, burning synthetic oil, and 2, burning coolant. Thankfully, with the stone adapter kit and the external, or not, is it external? Yeah. I don't know the proper word. Basically, external reservoir that it will draw from. It'll be drawing 2-stroke Idemitsu rotary premix, which is basically just fancy 2-stroke oil that's meant to be burned up in a rotary, thankfully. And that will happen a lot less often, because that is a chunk of carbon on there. That being said, this is basically as far as I'm going to be able to easily get. I'm going to have to wait for everything to warm up a little bit before I, especially before I put in the engine. But I'm going to have to take the seals and gaskets inside, get them all nice and warmed up. It's going to be getting down, like right now it's about 32, 34 degrees outside. All the snow is still somewhat out there. But it's going to be getting down to the negatives in like 2 days. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Anyway, I was going to get this all cleaned up. Pretty much put everything back, but in order. Make sure I get these seals in here good. And try to clean up the old seal crevices. Because I don't know, well, yeah, you can see that there's a bunch of black shit in there that's not supposed to be. Which is actually really interesting, because if you look over here, the intake and exhaust ports are on the other side. So that must mean that this overheated at some point and just cooked the seal. At least that's my guess. The seals did have a bit of a different consistency throughout. Some were flexible in some areas and stiff in others, and vice versa. So I'm assuming that's what happened, and it just let coolant in and burned up. That being said, it definitely looks disorganized, and it is, but as long as I don't have any leftover parts, I should be good. It'll just take me longer to put it all back together. It'll be fun. Anyway, thanks all for coming along for the ride on this Sunday update. I'm going to talk to you here in a second for you guys. It'll be a couple days for me, so I can give it a proper finish off for the Sunday update. Alrighty, before I went away for today, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the whole diet thing that I was doing pretty much as a New Year's resolution. So the first week of this year, I failed to diet like completely and exercise and everything, and I basically just stuck to what I was already doing, which was not good. And after that, I think it was Saturday, I began doing my diet, which I don't want to get into the details of because, well, everybody I talked to about it says it's incredibly unhealthy, and I don't disagree with them, but it's very effective and it works for me and I can do it. So I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway, I'm assuming this first weight loss number reduction is probably going to be just a fluke for starting into the diet, especially for as aggressively as I have. But what was it, Saturday? This is all going to be in frame of time of today being Sunday. Last Saturday, I started the diet, and from then till today, I have lost, what is it? Roughly 18 pounds. I'm doing this on Friday, so I might actually be a bit more by the time actual Sunday. But I've lost 18 pounds in basically just under a week. So here's hoping I can keep up with that track record, because let's pull up a calculator real quick. I don't want to get into what my weight is just yet. Maybe we'll do a big old reveal of all that at the end when I can do a face reveal and there's something worth looking at. But we'll say 18 pounds a week times, what do we got? 2 weeks left in this month, 4 weeks next month, so 6 weeks. 108 pounds. That would be a pretty good weight reduction. I might actually feel that one. That being said, thanks you guys for coming along for the ride. I hope you're enjoying the engine content and the rebuild. It's going to slow down a little bit because I think, like I mentioned a little bit ago, it's getting colder here. Like, the majority of this next week for me is in the negatives, versus today was a high of 37. So, yeah. We're going to slow down on that a little bit. The garage is not heated, and the main way I have access to it is the garage door, like the big one. The small door opens, but it's a maze to go from there to where I need to get to work on the engine. With the engine rebuild, most of the rotor seals and stuff to that nature is going to stay. I thought maybe the oil control rings might have been bad, but after inspecting them, they seem okay. It is one of those things where while you're in there, you might as well replace it. I don't really have the funds for that right now. I'm going to try to look it up on Atkins. I tried earlier, but the website wasn't working for me. So I'm going to try it again probably tomorrow and see if I can get into the website to see exactly how much the oil control rings are. But the apex seals, the side seals, the springs for all of them, they were perfectly fine. They functioned perfectly fine. The biggest thing I'm going to have to do is work on cleaning up a lot of the rotor. Housings were decent. I'm going to try to, this is again why I need the weight in order to do anything. I need to use the pressure washer, and that doesn't really function too well in negative temperatures. And I also don't want to accidentally splash myself in the face with -7 degrees water. Anyway, yeah, so I need to really work on cleaning up the rotors. I think you guys saw the massive carbon deposit on the one. I don't even think that's solely due to the fact that it was burning coolant. I think that was partially due to the fact of the oil it was burning, which is why I'm going to do the zone adapter upgrade. No oil is realistically meant to be burned, but synthetic oil doesn't like it nearly as much as two-stroke, as in two-stroke oil that you use in chainsaws, weed whackers, and probably some lawnmowers. You use that oil because it's designed to be burned. It doesn't have the harmful detergents that when they get burned, they just turn straight into carbon and build up on the face. What oil was being used in this, probably since 04, was synthetic and probably just a 5W20 that it's supposed to be in that engine. So the zone adapter upgrade is going to be nice, and it is in itself a reliability modification. Not that this is the most reliable car, but if you could do something when you're in here to do it, might as well. I don't know, it kind of contradicts what I said, but I already bought the Sone adapter like a year ago. And I can't afford the oil metering or oil control rings right now. But why did I start talking about this? I don't know why my brain is not working today. I remember what I was saying now. Basically, burning up that synthetic oil is what helps contribute to building up the massive carbon deposits on the face of the rotor. And when you start doing that, you start changing the compression ratio. Because if there's less space on the rotor, that's why there's actually that big dent in there from the casting itself. That's to help with that. It's to help to hold a larger volume of air-fuel mixture to be burned and combusted. But when you start filling that up with, I think that one was actually the size of at least a quarter, maybe a $half. Not that many people know how big that is anymore. Oh, my voice got better, but now I got a cough. But anyway, that'll be a nice help to that. But first, I got to get those cleaned up. I think I know somebody, or at least I might be able to talk to somebody into using their parts cleaner. That would be ideal. Otherwise, I'm pretty much just going to have to go at that with a wire brush. Not a powered one. Don't freak out just too much, but it looks like a toothbrush for the Iron Giant. I guess not many people know what that is either these days. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope you appreciated everything that I've done so far today and maybe even this week. If you could leave a like and subscribe, anything you could do for the channel helps me put more back into the channel for you guys, so it's a cyclical cycle and it's wonderful. That being said, I will see you next time. Have a good one.